one single battle in skill-based medieval combat, 8-directional combat. This is the first part of the game we are releasing. We are very excited about it.
Okay, so there's been a bigger gameplay trailer where you've shown all the stuff you want to implement, like a strategic part, like the combat part, tons of stuff, and you have been playing Mount & Blade, you've been modding Mount & Blade before, right?
Yes, we've been modding Mount & Blade for 6 years, more or less. I think I checked it was nearly 6 years.
Yeah.
And that's where we started building our own community, this RPG community. I guess some guys are watching, so hi guys. And
hello.
yeah, I mean we are very proud of how come we're far. I mean I just started doing everything alone, and then more and more people joined, and this is how we developed our group here.
So you haven't been into professional gaming, programming,
Not at all.
all like being on the stage, interviewing, this is all new for you.
This is very new for us, yes.
Noobs at Gamescom. We don't know anyone. We see a lot of people in suits, and we are very scared. I mean, considering I joined the team because I made a machinima about ninjas inside the mod that Chad's made.
Oh, okay.
Jacko made some maps. And basically our whole team is like this. It's just
so
players kind of advancing to the modding. Those that stuck around eventually joined. And even these last weeks we are hiring people from the community.
Yeah, I think it's such a great thing. Like, you guys are so excited about your own game, and you really can see and feel that. And you brought some gameplay with you, which is super valuable. We can jump in and actually play the game and see some live gameplay happening. So it's a multiplayer combat game. It has lots of strategic aspects as well, but the combat is what we're going to focus on today.
Yeah. So the combat, we spent the better part of a year developing a new combat system. This is
not just one, really.
we invented and discarded around 7 or 8 different combat systems before we arrived on the system we have here, because it's extremely important for us. The whole team has thousands of hours in melee type games, so to get it right and at the same time make it relatively easy for new people to join in has been extremely important for us.
Okay, so the general basics of the game are going to be, it's only going to be in multiplayer, and you can basically set up your character. Then how is it with loot, with weapons? How do you achieve all that and get all that?
Well, that is the progression part. That is one of the most important aspects for us. We just want every character to feel unique. We have a very extremely detailed layer system. Like, you can have 4 different body parts, but all those body parts actually are combined of different individual parts. So I didn't do the math, but there's multiple billion combinations in theory possible. Like, you can combine your helmet with a different coif, and that alone has hundreds of thousands of...
I have to say how important it is also to be unique in a melee game. It's totally different from being unique in a shooter. In a shooter, you see 3 pixels 100 meters away, you don't care how he looks like.
Yeah.
But when you meet someone face to face, you know who that guy is.
Yeah, you've seen him before.
You've seen him before. He killed you 10 times, the last 10 times, and your adrenaline starts pumping. So to recognize others and letting others recognize you is extremely important in this kind of melee type games.
Yeah, super.
You want to play?
Yeah.
If we're ready, like, I'm always ready to jump in and to check out the game itself.
What do we want to play?
Conquest.
Conquest, all right.
Let's show Conquest.
Maybe let's start with Duel, no?
No, let's start with Conquest.
Okay, so the game will be going to early access soon, and this is something that will also be available when the game comes out in early access, August 25th.
We release early access next week. We are currently having an invitation-only beta running.
Okay.
So the guys you will see here will hopefully be the guys that are...
It's not that strict invitation only. If you can figure out how to join, if you do some research, we are sure that anyone can join this week in the open beta.
60 people online
and this
right
is
now.
Okay, so this is the capture the flag game mode.
Yeah.
It is a mixture between classical Conquest and the capture the flag. We have like 2 stages. In the first one you have respawning, where you have to grab the flag, and the second one you have to defend it and attack it. It's still a temporary one. I have to admit we're not entirely happy with it. We're still working on it. There's still things we want to improve, but in general it already shows the amount of interactions and action you can see in our game.
It's running super smoothly, like, and there's how many people right now in the game, and how many are you capped? Is there a cap for how many people can play in one session?
Jacko, can you check?
Oh wow!
I think we're well around 60 people now.
Right now. right now our limit is 200 players per server, but we do have plans to push that after early access and go a bit beyond that. We have to check. We have no idea how far we are capable of doing.
We are confident that we can do 200 players in a server fighting laglessly, but we are once we are tuning the engine and making things better, we might be able to push that even further.
Yes.
And then there is no other game.
It's our own engine actually. We developed this ourselves from scratch to make sure that we can do all of the things that we want to achieve.
But you guys said you were coming from a modding background.
Yes.
Did you have any like gaming programming knowledge? Have you studied that? Have you worked? Yeah, you've been through that as well.
Let's say a large variety of people in our group with all the different kind of skills in our engine coder, CMP, Alessio. He's just extremely gifted.
Okay. That's extremely important. So we're probably playing like an early game character now, which just has like sort of a club.
Yeah.
We
little
call him
sword.
the peasant.
We call it a peasant.
Yes. A peasant, peasant. Like it totally looks like a peasant.
Yeah.
So in a direct combat with like a knight with a shield and a sword, do you even stand a chance to win the 1v1 combat?
Yes, a good player will any day beat a let's say a highly leveled up player.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the part of the game. It's extremely skill based. You can get better, and it doesn't really matter that much what kind of gear you have if you are good.
Yes.
Okay. So a bit about the combat system. It's live action. It always depends how you block. Is it also like where, and do you have to like see the strike if they're coming from up and down? Like
I mean, we have 8 directions combat for the two-handers, and a little bit different for shielders and other weapons. But you can strike from above.
Oh yes,
you can push.
If you watch what Jack is doing right now, can you do the stance thing?
Yeah.
We have a fluid stance system, which means as long as you move the mouse around, you're actually blocking in that direction. You don't have to block in a specific direction. You can just meet the enemy strike when it comes in, but just dragging your mouse in that direction. That is the thing that we worked a long time to actually figure out. It feels absolutely fluid. New players get it in roughly half an hour or something, and then they're pretty good at it already. And
some people get it immediately. I've seen some people just jumping in and starting to kick ass, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, I think the combat system is the most important thing about it, because when you're doing this live action big battles, like you want to have that 1v1 feeling. You want to have that, okay, I'm actually better than the player, so the better player will always win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but
there's also, this is just the base for us. The combat is really not, it is the base for us where we build all the other elements on it, but we also have a lot more to offer than that. This is what we call the battlegrounds. This is where you just jump in every day, every night, whenever you want. You can just jump in.
It's just normal PvP.
Yes, but we also have the Epic. This is something we will develop throughout Early Access, but we can show already what will be in the first version of Early Access.
Okay.
Checker, if you could launch up the Epic map.
Yeah, sure.
So, of course, the common PvP system, as you said, like you can jump in that any time if you want to play and kick some ass, but the whole game is basically more about building your empire, is it?
Yes,
it is a lot about diplomacy. It is a lot about alliances and fighting wars. We want to bring this huge warfare into this game with actual meaning. So we have this, what we call the Epic. This is the beginning of the Epic. This is a war map where you can send your troops around. You can recruit troops, you can send your troops around, and wherever those troops meet the enemy, a battle is staged for the next day.
And so right now we see the colors, so this is like the people or the factions that have conquered that certain point of the map at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
These red squares, they are battle zones, where the battles that become generated by this layer, this strategic layer, they happen of course in the real game with real players, and you can join them and you can defend, and they are all scheduled.
Yeah.
So, because our problem was a little bit how do we solve the open world dilemma. It's like very often you wake up in the morning and your castle is gone.
Yeah.
That you spent all weekend building with your friends.
Yeah.
Or the big battle that's coming up is 10 versus 10 people and it's lagging.
Yeah.
We are solving all this by focusing down, having an instant, very performant battle mode where you can really fight hundreds versus hundreds, and it really works. And at the same time having scheduled battles, so that a battle takes place the next day, 7 o'clock. You can call your whole clan, all your friends.
Oh, it's basically like the old raid times in World of Warcraft. You'll like call up, be like, yo, we'll meet up at 8 p.m. and then we're gonna like go there and do it. So it's not as people are going to take away all your stuff while you're gone.
No,
as those survival games.
That's exactly our point. We want it to matter. We want the persistency is important. but for that it's important that you also don't lose your stuff overnight, because then it's becoming worthless. But here every battle is just fair to the extent that whatever troops you brought, you are fighting with them, and every single troop that is fighting in this game is an actual player. So you will command hundreds of players on your side, and the enemy will do the same. And we've done something similar in our previous mod, and the feeling is just really
It's very epic. There is a lot of drama, big clans warring on very serious level.
It gets very serious very quickly.
Very personal almost.
Okay.
So it's
no, it's beautiful to watch. It is the story that evolves during the game is just wonderful, because those people really know each other, and they keep those alliances and diplomacy. It naturally happens. It's not faked by us. People just do it by themselves.
People just come up with the factions, but theoretically, like one faction could conquer the whole map and be like, yo, we're reigning the world.
Absolutely. That is actually why we decided that we will wipe the entire map every 6 months, because you have to be able to win. This is a board game. This is how we see. We
Such a good idea.
Thank you very much.
I like it a lot.
We designed
really
it as a board game intentionally, and you have to be able to win that. But we decided, should we either be able to keep it running for years or wipe it? And we said wipe it, just like a game of Risk. At the end of the evening, you say, all right, that was it. We do that after 6 months, roughly. After 6 months, we say, that was it. Who is the winner?
Okay.
So you can absolutely win here.
It's like a season or like a challenge, like 6 months.
And this is also just the first part of what we call the epic, which is the sandbox, which is going to open up underneath this map.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that it will not be like a strictly survival game where you have to survive from day to day and not freeze to death.
Yeah.
I
It
would
will be a
go as
little bit
far as
more
say
progressive.
It's not at all a survival game.
It's not at all a survival game. It's more about actually building stuff together with other people, having cities that work where the power is distributed, and so on and so on.
So about the system. So you're going out with early access, and the combat is the first thing that will be available. So the people this will be one of the most important things. You know, you come in the game and you have to defend yourself.
We want that to be seriously the very best, most polished part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally can see that, and that you're working on it so fluently is super important, because I've played, as I said, like tons of Mount and Blade, and with Mount and Blade, you always really have to get used to, like, for example, the combat on horse is like swinging the sword in the right direction at the right time. Can be sometimes really hard when it's up close. So with a melee game, you have to have a good system for.
It's just for us the most important thing. If those battles are not latency free and if they're not lagless, then it doesn't make sense. So this is why we design everything around the combat. Combat must be perfect for this game to work. Otherwise, it will not be what we want to have.
Next interesting question will definitely be, I mean, the problem with early access games that many people have is they come out and then they just sort of like patch the game, but they don't really come close to the finished version. And the idea that you guys have is super great, and I couldn't wait for the game to be done and finished. And I bet there's also people out there that say, I want to wait for the game to be done. Like, what's your guys' plan? Like, how strong and firmly are you going ahead on saying, okay, we want to be done with this at that point, or what's the plan for the next months?
So we have a very clear roadmap. Charles can talk more about it. It's we have a very clear plan for when we're going to finish what. You know, of course, software development is software development, and it's just sometimes hard to meet the exact deadlines. That's why no game developers ever like to talk about exact times.
Yeah, sure.
Because we've seen it too many times. Even the biggest studios are not able to sometimes reach that deadline because it's a layer of complexities you just cannot deal with. Still, I don't want to make any excuses. I just want to say we think we can do this, and that's our goal.
Okay, no,
it is for us. It's important. Early access for us, it's just very natural because we come from this modding where we just did one feature after the other, tested it out if it works. If it works, we develop it further. If it doesn't work, we scratch it. We did that over and over again. That's exactly why we can't give exact dates, because it's possible we're going to test some features with the community and they will say, guys, this just doesn't really work. And then we have to redo it or remove it. And that is exactly what early access allows us doing. It allows us to focus on the things that the community considers important. We have on our roadmap a kind of order in which we will implement things, but we are absolutely open to the community talking to us. I mean, we are the community. We are constantly talking to them.
We are part of the community. It's like when we are hiring people, it's like, you know, I've talked with you on the forums for 5 years. It's like, so tell me about yourself. It's really fun because you feel you already kind of know them and you know they're okay and it's fine. We also have, quite recently, we started a Discord channel.
Yeah.
Where you can just chat to the devs very often,
Yes,
very
we are
late at
online
night.
nearly all day.
You can talk with chats directly, and he's just, posting some spammy music videos or whatever.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I totally see it. I really have a lot of sympathy for the project and for you guys. Like, you seem really super much into it. For people like outside of the game that just got to know of it now, or just got to know a bit of the trailers, like, what's their first step to become part of the community? Join the early access, join the forums, join the Discord. Like, you guys are actually like taking care of the feedback that you're getting.
The very first thing you can do is to go online and figure out how to get into open beta. It's not that hard.
Yes.
You should be able to
do some research.
Just do a little bit of research, and then you can play it for free this week. At 25th, we're going early access. You have to buy the game.
Yes.
But you can play it now. You can join our Discord. People there are usually very helpful. We are there too.
Yeah.
Join the forums where things are going down. A lot of questions, a lot of suggestions
It's really
for the
just
game.
talk with us. I mean, we are in all different channels. We are just very available to the community, and the more the community is available to us, the more we understand what they want and need. And I think once you get into our forum, it's very obvious that we have a very strong and lively community that is very close to us.
Yeah, totally. Do you have any more combat to show? Like, there's currently the capture flag that was on.
The dual system.
If there's any more, dual system. Like, you have the 1v1 system as well.
Do we need to restart or?
Yeah, I think we need to restart.
So the duel system is it's more like a training mode where you can duel against other players. It's for learning the game a little bit and for getting better.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that very quickly this duel server might fill up with elitist players who are just awesome at the game.
Yeah.
If you want a challenge, you can go there and try yourself out.
It's maybe also important to notice that this game, while it's very simple to learn initially, it will become very hard.
It has a very
towards
high,
the end
almost
game.
unknown skill ceiling, I would say. We don't know where the limit is.
Better get used to fighting now, because the people are already practicing day and night from what I've seen. We started the beta a few days ago and people are already getting very active.
I think with melee combat games, many people tend to get into that extremely, like, for hours and hours. You said you've had over 1,000 hours of contemplation.
All of us have thousands of hours in melee games, and it's just for me, melee games, to be honest, is the only kind of games that gives me real adrenaline kicks.
Okay.
When you are dueling someone, your reaction time and you have to be so quick, so you have the adrenaline pumping and you know who you're fighting. If it's a really good player, you really want to kill him.
It is just when you want to compare it to maybe a normal shooter, there are many different aspects to it. Like the fact that you recognize players and that they need to come close to you means the entire gameplay changes. Holding off an enemy takes a lot longer because combats take depending on how good he is, it's not over immediately. It's not about who hits first, about who outsmarts his opponent. So that means it takes a lot longer. It also means that you will see other people, what they are wearing, and then you kind of avoid them either because they're better than you or because they have an equipment that is not that is kind of better against the stuff you're wearing right now.
Sometimes you realize your equipment that you brought, your melee weapon. So this is the duel system where you're like in a sort of castle?
Yes, this is our training map. We just finished a week ago, I think, and it's gonna be where you can also practice offline against bots. Our bots are purely for practicing purpose, just so you can get used a bit to the game. We are in general a pure online multiplayer game.
Yeah. No, I can totally
Our best player is just getting kicked his ass already.
This is embarrassing, Checker. What are you doing?
Very bad.
It's my ping, man. It's my ping.
I mean, it's just not fair. Like, these guys have much better equipment.
Yes.
Like, you're the peasant, man. Like, look, you're doing quite well.
We did expect him to at least kill someone here.
Yeah.
So in the bigger battles, it will mostly be two factions against each other, or will it sometimes be also like free for all?
It is something we plan to have in the future. In the beginning, it will only be two factions because time reasons. But in the future, we want to implement.
Everyone will be able to create their own factions.
Multi combat as well as in different
and you can also join other factions' wars. You can sign up for their battles.
Multiplayer melee game of Kings and Men?
Of Kings and Men.
Of Kings and Men. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for your time.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after a short break. This day will get even better. We've got so much more awesome games coming up today. Thursday is by far like, wow, it's such a great game. Such a great day. Like, looking forward. See